So anyways, hi, it's great to have you all here. I'm Benny Baker. I'm the Director of Sales. I've been here 6 years. From Arlington originally. Back in 78, 79, I actually came down to Hot Springs on a tennis scholarship out at Garland County Community College at the time. We were so good they decided to end the tennis program and they built a nursing facility over the top of the courts. So we actually were pretty good though. So we went out on a high note, I guess, anyway. But anyway, it's great to have you down here. Steve's told me a little bit about the class, facilities management. As we walk out, I've got some information on here that you can take with you if you want, just some basics. But the Arlington is the largest hotel in the state of Arkansas. Oh, and by the way, my wife's a first grade teacher, so I'm probably going to ask, this will be interactive discussions, so raise hands, things like that. But the Arlington has 478 guest rooms and 45,000 square feet of meeting space. So to put that in perspective, meeting space. To put that in perspective, the Marriott in Little Rock has 419 rooms and 40,000 square feet of meeting space. So unfortunately, we aren't attached to a convention center. That's part of my challenge from a facilities and a convention standpoint is filling the rooms and being in competition day in and day out with really the convention centers of the world. And what I also like to say is we're kind of in the competition with the embassies of the world because we don't offer breakfast or drinks as part of the lodging rate, whereas most of those do, or even your hotels on the bypass now, you'll get a breakfast with the lodging and the points to go with it and all that. We don't. So it's more of a challenge, from a sales perspective. It's sometimes it's kind of like the needle in the haystack trying to go, but what we're selling is the experience, the Arlington experience, the Hot Springs experience, the Bathhouse Row experience. And that's worth a lot. It's just a matter of conveying that and educating the planner so you can get to the next step to get them in here. Has anyone been in this facility before? I know you have because you're from here, but you've been here before?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
I think it was middle 90s, like when Tiger won his first Masters. It was like
really? Wow.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, you were like 3 years old or something like that. So you had to be young. So.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you're just holding it well then, whatever it is.
Yes, thank you.
Whatever you're doing, just keep on doing it. Drink some of our water, and everybody stays young. That's the mineral water. Yeah, mineral water. Anyway, just a little bit of history while we're down here. I was going to turn the lights on, but the lights are... These murals were painted by Kenneth Stern, and on here it says Kenneth Stern of Woodstock, 1977-78. But more importantly, it says for Gloria who should have stayed. Well, Kenneth was in love with Gloria, and so when he was painting this here, you can kind of see the monkeys are happy, they're playful, the oranges, everything is vibrant as far as the flowers and everything, and so they were madly in love here, and they were going to be married. Yeah, he was. And so let's go to the bar.
Who did you say?
Gloria.
Gloria
was his fiance.
Okay.
So let's go from here. We'll go to not so playful. Looks kind of sad, really. Kind of sad. You don't have the oranges, and then you got lemons over here. So things kind of sour. They didn't get married. So something happened between there and here. So, but the rest is history, whatever that is. You might be able to Google that and find out. But so anyway, that's kind of the story of the mural. Now Shelly's over there. Shelly's consistently in the top. She's won the bartending competition at the Arkansas Hospitality Association games.
Wow.
Shelly, what's your what's your drink?
Well, I do make an Arlington lemon drop martini that specialized for the hotel itself, and we've made several different more. I've got a tiramisu. His favorite I have is banana split martini. He loves it.
Are these your creations?
Yes, they're all my creations. So we have several more that are hidden up in here, so that's the kind of ones that we kind of push to people that want something sweet for after dinner.
Her martinis look so nice. You're not sure if you really want to drink them or not until you do. But they're beautiful. They are beautiful. So if you get an opportunity, you need to sample one sometime. And just
Tiramisu sounds fantastic. I've never heard of such a thing.
which is unheard of in the hotel business. And I don't know, Shelley, how long have you been here? 10 years. And you're kind of a short timer compared to some. We've had some guests, some staff that have been here 35, 40. We had one gentleman that was here 55 years. And he went through the wars, and the owner said, whenever you get out, come back, we've got a job for you. And he was at the Majestic and the Arlington. And that's just, you don't find that very often.
So what do you equate that to? That is really special.
I think it's just a culture. I think it's it's a family environment. The Arlington is an independent property, and then once again from the sales standpoint, we have virtually no red tape, and so we don't have to. Obviously we still have to meet quotas and things like that to a certain degree, but we've got so much flexibility, and but it's just it's a family environment here at the hotel. It's not like that everywhere. But it's so nice if you're pulling into valet, you've got the same valet attendant that you had 20 years ago, and he knows your name, or she knows your name, and what you like and don't like, and that makes a big difference. That's added value that will override the lack of a free breakfast.
Okay.
Or the free drink. What I failed to mention though is that you may get a free breakfast, but it may cost you $30 more in a room rate. But you don't really think about that at the time. It's kind of like, oh, it's free. It's costing me $40 more, but it's free. It's all education. That's really what it is. And how can we make your job easy as a planner? What can we do for you to make you have a great experience and your guests have a great experience and make your life easy? Because as we probably all know, I know Steve does, but there are very few true meeting planners in the state of Arkansas. It's someone that's maybe an administrative assistant one or something like that, and they've been told, you're going to plan this meeting. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea where they can cut cost, all the added value. So that's really where we come into play, to educate them, to make them not stress out, to help them stress out less anyway. Something else about this bar here, of course, it's pretty unique, and if you're down here during the racing season, you never know who you're going to see kind of bellied up here. But this is one of the top 15 hotel lobby bars in the world, according to Refinery 29 magazine. And we do not advertise with anyone from the food and beverage side or from the spa side. These are kind of like mystery shoppers, and they came in and they contacted me and said, hey, can we write an article on your bar? I go, sure. They didn't ask us for any advertisement, so it was good. But so we're up there with the Ice Bar in Switzerland and places like that. So that's pretty unique.
Very nice.
Just come in and get away. Come in and get away. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, she's been here for 10. You said this is your 6th year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's pretty unique. Especially just build it. 11 months and 4 days.
Wow.
So just think, the largest hotel in the state took 11 months and 4 days to build, and that's pretty amazing. Now this is the third version. The first two were across the road in Arlington Park on National Park property. This is private property, that's National Park property. The first one was about 100 rooms. They raised it, they wanted to make it larger, they built it larger, built it out of bricks so it wouldn't burn, and what happened? It burns. It burns. The Titanic, you'd think. So it burns. So then they jump over here and decide to do the Mediterranean style with the wraparound veranda and the towers. They have some of the same features of the second one, like the towers they had on the second version. But this is all on private property here. So, any guesses on any celebrities that might have lodged with us?
Too many to say.
Yeah, there is a guy. Oh, do you really?
We had a lot of celebrities in the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Did Toby ever mention anything about Steve Roberts or anything? Okay.
I'm polite when I say about the horse races. I don't say anything. It's
No.
There's Toby Keith. It's
Sure.
every day, and I sit there and take.
Yeah, you never really know who you're going to see, but you're right, during the film festival we had just all kinds of celebrities here. But the old time celebrities, Babe Ruth, 84% of all Major League Baseball Hall of Famers played at Whittington Park up to this day. That was the original spring training. Babe Ruth hit the longest home run in history at Whittington Park. Any idea of how long that may have been?
600.
You're close. You're close.
10.
573. Do you know where the ball landed?
Has it?
On the veranda.
Yeah, well, that would be something right there. That'd be like 2,000. The alligator farm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and that ballpark is, I mean, they still have markers over there, but warehouses are sitting over there near where the ball field was.
We're at the end of
Yeah. Now, everyone came here originally because of the hot springs. You know, you could write scripts for that, so they would come in here. Any gangsters that you think might have lodged with us?
Yeah.
Al Capone.
Which was what was the bar that just burned down recently? But that was a speakeasy, like in the
the
meantime.
Majestic.
Yeah, the Majestic did. I mean, there was celebrities over there as well, but Capone owned the Southern Club, which is actually the Wax Museum over there now. Then you've got the Ohio Club, which is down, has the oldest bar in the state of Arkansas. And it's so cool in there now. Yeah, it's amazing. It's nice now because everything is smoke-free, so you could actually go in there now and listen to music 7 days a week, and the band's upstairs. You don't have to deal with the smoke, and their food is outstanding. So anyway, lots of celebrities around here. Barbara Streisand, numerous presidents. So it's and to this day you never really know. Clinton was here 4 times last year. He was just like a rock star. They had the 50th class reunion. His father-in-law's golf tournament was that weekend. We had a Cancer Society event upstairs, so he crashed that and was photobombing everyone and all that. And he was lodged up in the presidential suite, obviously. And but he was about an hour and a half late as usual, walking up and down Central. But just like a rock star, grand entrance, and everybody loves it. So, and you just don't see that every day. So, any questions down here? He's classically trained.
I was gonna say, that
but
sounds like a classically
but
trained
he can
name.
he can do anything. He can do anything. Now we'll also use this same setup. Like I said, this is normally out here further. We'll have our Sunday brunch in here as well. It goes from 10:30 to 1 every Sunday. And once again, the desserts, the omelet station, and the Arlington donut machine, which is 90 years old, and they make the world's worst donuts for you, but the best tasting. And they float in the grease and have all of the toppings. And to this day, when I put a photo of 3 donuts on Facebook, to this day it's got the most likes of anything. It just blew up. Then we'll have, once again, the food from that side of the piano all the way to the stairs, just a combination of breakfast and lunch. And the chef keeps it fresh, so it works out really well. Our seating capacity in here is about 140. We don't use it that often for conventions, but at times we do have to kind of do some filler in here if we've got groups upstairs, and it works out fine. Got the wine and cheese room back there, and that's kind of an overflow. It's a good room for, say, a wedding party or something like that, or a special birthday party or something along those lines.
So, Benny, last year or earlier this year, I'm not sure, the main owner passed away, and now the property belongs to the family. So, tell us about the differences and changes and
No, really no differences. I've done this one, just business as usual. Business is good, and so we're just from a sales standpoint, it's different than it was 30 years ago because there's so much more competition from the leisure market coming in from everywhere.
Now, with the Majestic burning down, being closed, and Belle de Rose being closed, and the DeSoto being closed, and some of the older hotels, is there enough hotel space in Hot Springs at this moment?
There is more than enough.
There's more than enough?
There's the misconception is that there are not enough bedrooms in Hot Springs. There are more than enough bedrooms in Hot Springs.
Okay.
And so
Well,
that's,
I guess when you put all of the little economy and extended stay and
well, you've got the Marriott now, you've got the Holiday Inn, then you've got the Comfort Inn and Suites, and those down there by the bypass. You've got the new boutique hotel that's going to be opening up in November, and then you've got the Hotel Hot Springs and the Embassy attached to the convention center, and that's 500 rooms right there. And so you've got so they've got 500 rooms, and we have 478. If you bring a convention into town, you're good. You're
Yeah.
good. And then just with the leisure guests coming in.
Okay, so 478, if you were larger, and added X number of rooms, would you be more competitive to bring other conventions in that are not considering because it's not large enough? Because maybe the convention center can handle it. But
Yeah, the guest rooms, that's not the issue. It's really the lack of exhibit space because large conventions have been spoiled by having, 100 vendors and breakfast and lunch all in the same area. They just open it up and go. And that's hard to compete with. So exhibit space, meeting space really is an issue. I mean, you start getting too many bedrooms versus your square footage, then you can kind of be inverted. So we're good from that angle right there. The perfect size group for us is really about 350, because we can, and we'll see the meeting space in a few minutes, but we can seat 900 theater in our conference center, but then seat up to 350 banquet in the Crystal Ballroom. And then we have 478 rooms. Our exhibit center, which you'll see in a few minutes, will accommodate up to about 60 8x10s. But that's kind of, once again, like I said, kind of the needle in the haystack, finding those groups that we're a good fit for and that we're a good value for, and just inform them of the Arlington. Most people don't think of the Arlington for meeting space. It's leisure first, come have a good time, experience the history, and so we have to educate them that we're actually in the meetings business. And that just gets down to the nitty-gritty of sales. Just calling and contacting and getting in the front of them.
Suzanne and you, that's what you do?
Myself and Suzanne and Dee Soderstrom and Melissa Spradley. And we have a large number of motor coach groups coming in, tour and travel, some family reunions, corporate. It's really, we have to have a diverse mix to fill the beds. And it works out great, so.
So is the majority of all this, I guess, decorating and design, is that like original? Like all this right here?
This is, yes. It's 90 years
So
old.
I guess my question is, I noticed back on like the first painting we looked at over by like the main stage, it looked like some of the painting was like chipping. You wouldn't replace that simply because it's like an original painting, right? Like, I mean, you wouldn't want to.
restoration.
Well, there was actually another one prior to 77.
I think it kind of adds like kind of character to it and value, or not value, but
History.
character and historic, I guess, value to
Well,
it.
it does, but at some point when it's chipped paint, it's chipped paint, regardless. But so I mean, honestly, I'm not sure what our restoration program is. I'm not involved in that, but it's one of those things about when you begin it, you have to end it, and to bring the right person in, and who knows, when they do it the next time, they may commission someone else to come in and do something different.
Sure.
Because that is certainly different than what it was before. So that was before my time. So all things. Then you go to what we call Cafe 1 and Cafe 2. So we're going to be using everything for this upcoming wedding.
Oh, when you cut away, come on,
Okay, the wedding reception will be here. We had one last weekend as well. If we actually have a meal in here, so it's a buffet, it's really nice to have the prime rib centered up in front of the fountain. Sometimes for the wedding party, we'll actually have the wedding party sitting up there at the fountain, and they'll do all their things. But it's really nice. It looks like they may be sitting a cash bar or something up in the.
I know, right?
It's like ceiling is we're not on that fountain.
I mean, they're staffing up. They have
When are they supposed to
64 rooms
open?
in November.
How many floors? 4?
No, they have more than 4. But like I say, 64 rooms, 64 suites, and so
I don't know how many honestly, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice addition downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll have to find them some valet attendants in really good shape
Isn't that the darndest?
because they're going to be.
They're gonna be running.
So do you know how large your maintenance staff is? Like how many people you have just working You know,
I would say probably in the 10 to 15 range, something like that. We have a chief engineer, and then various staff that cover, specific areas, but most of them are just trained in all areas to a certain degree. You have your plumbers and electricians, obviously, but then you have some that just can do the journeyman, basically.
Oh,
They can do anything. And you really need the flexibility in a large property like this, so you don't have to outsource any more than you need to, because that gets to be really, really expensive. So, overall, we've got a real lean staff for the size of the hotel.
How big is your?
Just kind of hanging out, and especially when it's this time of the year and the weather's really good outside. It's kind of inside outside. The doors are open to a certain degree. They're just kind of around. So it's a great setting for wedding photos. My daughter had her wedding photo with that as the backdrop.
Yes.
So and the spiral staircase and all of that.
Speaking of, how's your grandson?
Pretty much original. It's all new as of 2 years ago, but we just went back and replaced the carpet with like it was. This is our crystal ballroom, and a couple of years ago we went in and we redid everything. We had to take those chandeliers down for the Doc Film Festival, and they left the wire nuts. Yeah, we had to. Yeah. And they've left those wire nuts up there like that, which is interesting. It was not easy. It was not easy. It was pretty amazing. This room here, our capacity is 550 theater, 250 classroom, 350, 10 tops for banquet service, and that's allowing space at the front for a head table or something. The drapes, you can open those up, and it goes back probably 5 to 8 feet, so you could have a band up there. On New Year's Eve, as Steve will attest to, we have our Stardust big band up there.
With Shirley singing?
Oh, it just fills the room. It is amazing.
Do you still do the dances on Sunday afternoon? Okay.
Yeah, once a month. That's my understanding. And so it works out real well. But everything in here it pretty much is original, with the exception of the floor. We had to replace all the floor last year, but the murals and the chandeliers and everything is original. So one, Babe Ruth and Al Capone and Jack Dempsey and Tony Bennett and all of those, Barbara Streisand, presidents. They're standing where you're standing. So
history.
yeah, it's so everything's dimmable, new air walls, new paint on the ceiling, and so it works out really well. You've got 3 sections here, A, B, and C. If you open all of this up, you can see 900 theater like that, 650 banquet. So we've got a lot of flexibility, but once again, 350 is really the perfect number for us.
meetings,
Meetings, food service, exhibit space, which I'll show you in a few moments.
So 900 theater style?
That would be like the perfect situation. And this last year I had a couple of international groups in here, basically crystal groups, and they filled everything up. And
Crystal, like rocks?
yeah, quartz and everything. And they went to the Mount Ida for the excursions, and it worked out really well. And,
So Benny, you mentioned a minute ago that the LEDs in the green. Where else have you guys tried to go green?
We partnered with Entergy and retroed everything that they had bulbs for.
Oh, okay.
Like down below, they don't have some bulbs for some of the ornamental lighting, but everything else has been retrofitted. So
LED or the little fluorescents?
well, it's the newest energy setting.
Okay,
Whether
so
they're
LED would be the best.
yeah. So we partnered with them, and it certainly worked for us as well from the from the cost standpoint. And they brought us a check and a good payback, so it works out well.
Wow.
So
That's
the lighting
perfect.
partnership with Energy.
he came home, and thank goodness he did. He's very, very good. You know, I mean, he can do whatever he wants to. And Frank Sinatra was at his hotel. Frank Sinatra comes back and he wants some oatmeal. The chef, the classically trained chef, didn't know how to make oatmeal, so he had to get the line cook to make oatmeal.
Yeah, they don't teach you how to do oatmeal in culinary school.
Yeah, so he
That's
makes some
going
oatmeal
down.
for Frank Sinatra. So you just never know. So.
Not.
Main standpoint, it's not next to the main room, and obviously the dinner's one of the most, visible as possible for the money they're paying. So. A little musty, we got the air down now. Well, he would rent the whole fourth floor for his mafia family, for his whole family. But this was his suite because he could look to the right, he could look to the left and see everything that was going on. And what I found out about a month ago was that building across the way with the blue and white, Jimmy Hoffa owned that. Those of you that are old enough to know Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, yeah, he
We're
was.
talking about the
He's buried under
aristocrat.
something somewhere, so,
Yes.
yeah, he is.
So the
Well,
aristocrat,
who knows, who knows?
is that like a, do people live there?
They do. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's assisted living, but it's older.
Yeah.
It's older. Now, look at the building straight ahead, the Medical Arts Building.
Right.
Can anyone tell me any history on that?
It's tall.
It's tall. You're close.
It was at one time the tallest building in Arkansas.
When it was built, it was the tallest building in Arkansas.
It's been on the National Historic Register since 1978.
Yeah. What else
And
can you
they-
tell me about that building?
It's abandoned.
And what else? Well, actually, they do have retail on the bottom,
No,
but everything
for the most
else,
part, it's abandoned.
there's like 3 owners between all the different floors.
Not for.
Does anyone remember Superman?
Of course.
Yeah.
The Daily Planet?
That's the
Yeah.
Daily Planet.
That's what it was modeled after.
Oh.
So you just have to visualize Superman in the black and white back in the days going around in slow motion around the Daily Planet.
Huh.
Came to Hot Springs and they had a truce so they didn't kill each other. And but at the same time, Capone had this, so he could look to the right, he could look to the left, he could look at the Southern Club, which is now the Wax Museum and has the awnings, the blue and white awnings, purple and white, and that was his club. And back before there were gang signs, if they had carnations or different things like that, he could stand up here and find out what was going on. Now, if he had to get out fast, what do you think someone of his caliber would do? They would go through the closet to the door down the stairs. Into the tunnels.
This door? There's one door right here. All right.
I mean, it's closed off now, obviously, but,
This is the.
It came out to
escape
that-
door.
yeah.
Or
Yeah. And then he could go down and go around. I mean, there are tunnels everywhere in Hot Springs.
Wow, that's the escape door. That's really cool. Felonious.
I'm sorry. And hit the tunnels and go.
Yeah, but back in the day, the gangsters just walked the streets because.
Yeah.
Gosh, I was 20 then.
Yeah, when you were 20, then you weren't drinking at bars, you were drinking outside.
Susan, I'm
Yeah,
gonna get
exactly.
something.
Yeah.
You're right. I'd left the key in the.
Okay, well, grab that if you
I
want.
most certainly will.
Home suite or whatever you're walking to.
I do.
All that good stuff. You really are. Real green. Social media presence. Oh, there's Al Capone escaping.
Yeah. It's not
He's been hiding, he's been hiding.
No, it says, be careful your charge accounts down there. No, this is the most.
So anyway, back in the old days, you can see here the gift shop, the toggery, the gown shop, and all that. That's everything was done here. Now, this is going to take a lot of it's on over the years, like most places. But we do still have some of our gift shops here, and there's a little shop around the corner. We've put all new equipment in our fitness room here. Now the double doors here. This is our what we call the party room. We've got 13 beds in there. We can do 13 different types of service at once. So it's great for a girls' weekend, a wedding party, something like that, or a hospitality class. So.
How late does this stay open? 6, okay.
Is that just like a little restaurant over there on the other side?
Well, actually, that's our staff cafeteria. Back in the day, it was. The challenges of the Arlington are really the opportunities. Not everyone likes a older historic hotel, and there is a difference in old and historic. At least there should be. And so, from a sales perspective, my job and really the responsibility of the salespeople is to, once again, it all comes down to education and communication to inform the planners of what you have. What your strengths are. I always like to say focus on the strengths while you're improving on the weaknesses. Everybody has a weakness. It's a brand new property, brand new house. As soon as you open it up, you're going to change something. You're going to want to do something. So we go with all of the things that we have here at our disposal. A 90-year-old historic hotel. Celebrities have been here. They continue to come back. But at the same time, you're on Central Avenue. You're the front door to downtown Hot Springs. Central Avenue, if you don't know, last year it was named one of the top 10 great streets in the U.S. Up there was 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Bill Street, Bourbon Street. It was the American Planning Association. I mean, it was a rigorous process. They had a press conference and everything downtown on the parking garage, and so it wasn't one of those things where you had a mystery shopper. I mean, it was like a 2-year process, but so I mean that's pretty impressive right there. And you've got Bathhouse Row, so you really rely on, you're selling the experience when you're downtown in an older property like this. But it's very important, once again, when you're dealing with the planner, just to let them know that, you know your people better than we do. Are they going to be comfortable with a historic hotel versus a box hotel to where you're going to get points to stay there, but it's a totally different experience. And there's no right or wrong answer. As long as they have a good conference, and that's really how we present it. We do spend probably $1 million a year just on repairs and upkeep, and that's not even that doesn't count the money that we spend on restoration and renovations. So it's a challenge, but it's worth it to be in a facility like this and to really promote it. And people need to know about the Arlington. They need to know about the Arlington. They need to know the history. And their kids need to know it, because odds are their parents probably know it. The best part of the job is to speak to groups like this, but also when you see someone come in here and they had their 50th anniversary here, or their anniversary here, 50 years ago they were married here, or on the steps, and they come back and they want the exact same room. And we had someone not long ago that I heard that and I was going to upgrade them. They go, no, they wanted this room. And it was just your standard room, but that's where they were at 50 years ago. That's the fun part. That's the fun part, and that's what I mean. They every year, they would come back, and that's the best part of it. So,
Questions?
Any questions from the group here? So,
Thank you.
man, all right. Ooh, $25, cha-ching. All right, man, good job. So, all right. Any questions at all?